ladies and gentlemen. My name is Greta Bereisaite. I'm dating and relationship coach for women. For the awesome, high value women secrets, subscribe to my channel and hit the bell to be notified when I upload new videos. So, I'm a dating coach actually for men and women. I coach men and women, but today's topic is more for women. However, if you guys want to add anything, if you have any questions, feel free to make comments and we can chit chat as I'm making my points. Okay, so as I said, it's a bit of a sneaky, cheeky topic how to get a man to chase you. And I have actually 10 points here on how to do it, like in order. But I'll probably kind of like, probably out of 10, it will be 8 or maybe more. So let's see how it goes. Hello, whoever is watching. Hello, hello, hello. I'll start from the beginning. Why should a guy, maybe chase is the wrong word, maybe like more is like pursue a woman. Why it's a man that needs to pursue a woman. And I know that guys will come up and will be like, no, but women don't like it when guys chase them, or why should a guy pursue a woman? It's 21st century and all that jazz. But if we look at the Bible, it's a man that finds his wife. And why should a man pursue a woman? Because it's a man who's more confident. A woman is more vulnerable. She's looking for safety and security. So when a man is pursuing you, he's actually making you feel safe and secure. And also biblically, it says it's a man that finds his wife, right? So it's actually a man's job to pursue a woman. Hi, cheeky monkey girl. I haven't seen you for ages on my live. Welcome back. So the number one way to get a man to pursue you is to not chase him. A lot of women want men to pursue them, and they are the ones that are chasing men. Ladies, if you're out there hunting for guys, if you're out there chasing guys, if you're out there thinking how to get a guy hooked on you or acting all desperate, asking everybody to marry you, or going to the clubs, crawling on guys' necks, like asking them to dance with you or chatting them up and all of that, how is he going to pursue you? He can't really pursue you because you, if he wants you, he will come at his pace and he will pursue you. And you might say, oh, but some men are so shy, we can't approach women. Everyone can approach a woman. Whether it's shy or a confident guy, he will find a way to approach you. Yes, it may not be as direct as a guy that's insanely confident. It might be different, but if he likes you, he will find his way to pursue you. So all you need to do is just be patient and focus on your stuff, focus on your goals, focus on your dreams and all of that. Do your thing, be a good woman, and allow him to come to you. And ladies, the way it actually works. So for guys, I would say guys have a wider choice of women than women have of men. Now, why is that? So for a man is like, because a man is the pursuer, he can pursue a girl that he chooses to pursue, a girl he wants to pursue, because he's the pursuer. But for women, our options are more of the men that are already pursuing us. So then you pick the one from that guy, because if you're gonna go out there and think like, oh, I can have any guy, that's a masculine mentality. You cannot go into a club as a woman and be like, oh, I like him. How do I make him to want me? No, it doesn't work that way. It's actually, if you're gonna go this way, you're gonna come across cheap and vulgar and just really not classy. So for women, it's more like guys that are pursuing you, then you choose from that guy. And of course, you can make yourself, you can become classy, you can become elegant, you can improve yourself so more men are attracted towards you. But it's not you that goes to the club and looks for a guy and starts to like hunt for him. Okay, number two. Number two would be where a lot of women go wrong, and I had this conversation last time on my live, is when we look at dating 10 years ahead. You know, we go on a date with a guy and we create this fantasy about him without even knowing him. We have no idea what he's all about. We don't know his background. We just don't know anything about the guy. The guy puts his best foot forward. He takes you to a nice place. I don't know, he has manners, he's well dressed, he's charming, and women create this perfect image of a person. You know, and when we go like, oh, he's fantastic, he's perfect, and when we create this fantasy and start to think 10 years ahead. Ladies, you need to stay light and stay in the moment, stay in reality, and take one step at the time. Stop with your 10 years fantasy ahead. When you do 10 years fantasy ahead, first of all, you're not even falling for the real guy, you're falling for a fantasy. And second of all, he feels the pressure then. He feels like you're so into him, you like him so much, or perhaps you're so desperate, you desperately want to hunt him down. You know, so it's more about like, you have to stay realistic and see like, do I like him? Do we click? Is it the right guy for me? Like, do we actually match as people, not just like with the fantasy? And the only way to see that is by, as I said, by enjoying the moment, by taking one step at a time and just being present. You know, like you went on a date, enjoy the date. He asked you out again, great. He doesn't ask you out, you had a nice date, it's all good. You know, it's just take one step at a time. Be chilled, be light. Number three, what do I have? Oh, number three. So I see this in a lot of women that I coach. Hello, everyone. Let me just say hello. I agree. I wish women thought about the future. I wish women were interested in marriage and talking about it early. Oh, interesting. Okay. Cheeky, did you learn the lesson today? Hi, where is the sweater from? I love it. Oh, this one. To be honest, I don't remember. Maybe River Island or something. What are you promoting is only attractive to players looking for. Okay. Okay, right. I'm continuing with this one. So number three. So I see this in, I'll do my points and then I'll talk to you guys. Otherwise, I'll get distracted, okay? Guys and girls. Otherwise, I'll get too distracted. So, number three, I see this in a lot of girls. Ladies, if you start to pick on a guy too soon, most likely he's not going to ask you out. So, for example, a lot of women start to talk and we start to test a man too early. Like we start to bring up deep topics and ask deep questions, or we raise like really high expectations. And when we start to kind of be like, oh, well, if you liked me, you would do that, or this is inappropriate, we kind of become like a bit controlling and tell a guy what to do and how to behave on a date, you know. And what happens, it's too much pressure. You start to pick on a guy in the beginning and he steps back basically, and the date doesn't even happen because guys want to enjoy it too. He wants to come on this date and, you know, enjoy the moment, keep things lighthearted. He wants to feel nice, like he's going to this date, he's investing his time for a nice, lovely evening. Not like for somebody that picked on him here and there and now he has to go to the date and prove himself. You know, it's like, don't create an unpleasant atmosphere for him to show up. He's not gonna show up. Majority of the time, he will cancel. He'll be like, if she's already picking on me and we haven't even been on a date, it's like, what's the point? Where is it gonna go? You know, so you have to, ladies, like, watch yourself. If you want to know, is he a good man? Is he a bad man? Will he have deep topics? Will he speak anything meaningful? If you want to know these things, you will see these things when you actually go, when you're dating the person for a while. You will start to see it in his conversations and how he treats you. Does his words match his actions, etc., right? So don't put these expectations really high and then like, oh, I need to like test him before I go on a date, because that way you can actually freak out a lot of really good guys. We're gonna be like, oh, she's too serious, it's too much, and we will step back. Okay, number 4. Yeah, you guys talk to each other. Cheeky Monkey likes a bit of drama, so I'm sure everybody will be entertained here. Right. Number 4, if you are okay, let me read it for myself. Okay, right. So this is really interesting. Number 4, a lot of ladies want a guy that leads, right? Because it's a masculine thing to lead, to plan the date, to arrange the date, to think where you're gonna take her, to think what you're gonna do, like. So a lot of women love that about a guy leading, right? But what's really funny, a lot of women don't follow, or actually we say we want a leader, but when we complain or we start to put their suggestions in, so if you want a leader, if you want a guy that leads, well, then you need to be a follower. You cannot be a leader back. You cannot tell a guy you want a leader and then tell him how to lead you. No, that's not how it works. If you're a leader of a group, let's say I'm a leader, let's say in my business, right? I'm leading my way. That's it. I might listen to some suggestions if I'm asking you for the suggestions. But if I'm not asking you, I'm leading my way, and you either follow me or you don't. But you're not going to be telling me how to lead. So the same goes with a guy. If you want a guy leading, great, let him organize, trust in him, trust in his plan. If something doesn't work out, let it go. Don't pick on it, just be smooth and let it go. But don't tell him how to lead you. If you don't want to follow him because you see he's just not very wise, or he's gonna lead you in the wrong ways, or you just not clicking with him, well, then don't follow. Don't follow, like, get another guy. There will be another guy that you can't follow. But when you allow a man to lead you, don't tell him how to do it. If he asks you for your opinion or what you want to do or what you like and this and that, you can tell him. If he doesn't ask you, let him lead and appreciate it. So this I find really hilarious, because everyone, oh, a man needs to lead, a man needs to take charge, and when nobody follows. It's like, okay, so how does this make sense? If you want him to lead, you need to follow, you know? Number 5, how to get a man to pursue you is have a life besides him. Ladies, I say it for 120 times, maybe 200 times. Actually, I have over 1,000 videos on here, so probably for a couple. I'm saying it for the 1,000th time. Have a life besides him. It's like, think about it. You became who you are because of the life you have lived. Your hobbies, your friends, your dreams, your goals, your life experience. It's all of these things made you who you are, right? And now you meet a guy and you, let's say, forget about all of these things and you just completely focus on him and everything what he does is fantastic. You're so focused, you're so insecure and so focused on him that you're watching his every single step. You don't trust him when he's going out. You keep asking who he's going with. His friends become your best friends. His family becomes your family. His everything what he does becomes yours, and on top of that you lose what you have. So you let go of your hobbies, your friends, your dreams, your goals. You basically lose yourself. So when this happens, that's when usually get bored. People get bored of each other. You know, it's like, okay, when I met you, you were this interesting, fun girl. You had your goals and dreams, your passions. You liked this, you liked this, you liked that. You took care of yourself. You know, maybe you were going to the gym when I met you. Now you're like, you don't care about the weight anymore. You know, you're like, you just let yourself go. It's everything is about me. And, you know, when you behave like that, you put him really high on a pedestal, and in a way, like, you start to worship him. And you know, as we say, God is a jealous God. Don't worship a guy, worship God. The guy comes second, you know. And that's when he starts to lose interest in you, because you start to lose interest in yourself. So I don't mean like become this type of person that just blindly puts herself first and like ignores the guy, totally forgets about him. No, it has to be the right balance, but you have to keep your goals and dreams to stay interested. And to be honest, when it comes to guys, if a guy is a good guy and he starts to feel a bit suffocated by you because you're always on his case, you're just obsessive over him, he will tell you, he'll be like, Greta, like, you know, go get some goals and dreams, or Greta, you used to like the gym, or Greta, like, play, you know, like, don't be so focused on me, do your thing. You know, if a guy is a bit not very communicative, he'll probably just ghost you and not gonna be bothered anymore, unfortunately. And that's how women, that's how people lose everything. And when you lose everything, because when you over invest in somebody so much that they become your everything, and when they break up with you, that's when you end up losing everything. And that's when you're completely crushed and destroyed, because you're like, I gave everything to him. He has a whole of me, and now he dumped me, and I'm like left with nothing. This is like the hardest heartbreak, you know? So be wise, especially if a guy is not your husband. You know, don't overinvest into a guy that's not your husband. Like, what's the point? It's too risky. It's too much risk. A husband is different. You know, you can build things together, and you know that also depends on the mindset. How are you marrying? Are you marrying somebody who believes in for better and for worse until the death does you part, where you can actually invest and create a life together? Or you're marrying somebody that's, you know, like, oh, we'll be together until we fall out of love, which then you have to be careful not to lose what you already have, because if he switches his mind the next day and you're getting divorced in 2 years, and you know, it's like, so you have to be careful. You have to see what you're dating, see, like, discern a person through period of time. Number 6, think before you speak. Choose your words wisely. So, you know, whenever we talking to somebody, or whenever we dating a guy or are with him, we really like, it's a vulnerable situation, because things will come up that, you know, you're a bit like, you're not sure how to reply, and you don't want to hurt the person's feelings, and etc etc. But lucky for us, the vocabulary is huge, you know. So you can say what you mean or what you want to say by thinking about it, and by like not responding like in a split second. You know, like, take your time, be patient, respond when you have an answer to it. You know, sometimes we don't have the answer on a spot. Sometimes it's not wise to give an answer on a spot, because it's too impulsive. You didn't think right through it. It can offend the other person. When you offend the other person, they take it too personally. It sticks with them for a while. You know, when you're feeling on edge, because now it's like potential argument happening. So instead of all of this stuff happening, just be patient. Be patient. Try, if you feel a little bit triggered, try not to respond in like exactly split second. Like, take your time, think about it, maybe consult with somebody. Take your time in giving the right response, because towards every single situation there is the right response. And if you just take your time and look for it, you will find it, and that way you will actually save your relationship. But if you are like constantly replying to things spontaneously on a spot, without thinking things through, just because you're triggered or because you're too emotional or you're sad or you're too upset or insecure or you're assuming things. This is how we actually damage our relationships, and guys lose great girls and girls lose great guys, because you just need to think. You have a brain, filter bloody things and think and do it. Of course, when you're 20, it's different. Everyone's impulsive. But if you're over 30, it's time to think longer and let this impulsive, immature behaviors go. What is number 7? number, number 7. Um, Don't share your insecurities and vulnerabilities. So, this is a little bit subjective, I would say. The reason generally I would say don't share your vulnerabilities and insecurities, first of all, because these things are unattractive, and if a person wants to know your vulnerabilities and insecurities, like, what is the intention behind it? And we don't live in heaven. We live in a world where there's a lot of nasty people out there and a lot of people that are trying to take advantage of you. So if you're gonna walk around wearing your heart on a sleeve and sharing all your vulnerabilities and insecurities, most likely 99% of the time you will be manipulated, you will be abused, you will be taken advantage of, right? A lot of guys, we go on a date and literally on a first date we go like, what are your vulnerabilities, what are your insecurities? That's none of your business, hon. Or I don't have any. I mean, don't say it like that, filter. But it's a red flag. So if you have vulnerabilities, if you have insecurities, the best thing to do is work on these insecurities and vulnerabilities so you become a confident, secure person, rather than share it with a guy and then expect him to tiptoe around them. Because people don't tiptoe. If you have vulnerabilities and insecurities, you actually have problems that you need to work on. Yes, if a guy is a good guy, a really nice, genuine guy, from God, just for you, yes, he'll be nice and he will protect your vulnerabilities and insecurities and all of that, which would be fantastic. Unfortunately, we don't live in a world full of men like that. And unfortunately, majority of the time, if you're going to be sharing your vulnerabilities and insecurities, you will be played, you will be manipulated, you will be abused, and so you have to be careful with that. You have to be careful with that. Even if somebody doesn't want to, let's say, even if their intention is not to take advantage of you, even if he's, let's say, a good guy that's trying to be supportive and all of that, still, people have usually a dark side to them as well. And if, let's say, with this good guy, you have an argument a year later or 2 years later or 6 months later, and the argument was, deep, he might attack you on all those vulnerabilities and insecurities that you just shared. You're giving him gaps. Why do that if you don't have to? Or why do that if you can go and work on it and not have these vulnerabilities and insecurities anymore? So number 8. Number 8, have boundaries if he is disrespectful. This is kind of common sense, but remember, when you're usually the way it goes with boundaries. So boundaries, if they set in a very like, light boundaries are fine in the beginning, but the light boundary is something like just saying things like, oh, I would love to see you tonight, but unfortunately I'm busy, let me know in advance. That's already a light boundary. So light boundaries can be set in the beginning if they are set in a form of just showing a little bit like your standard, or for example, oh, I like this place, but maybe another place would be better. That's also a boundary. You're kind of showing your standard here as well, or maybe we could do something else. He offers you something and he goes like, and you can reply something like, that sounds really nice, but maybe we could do something else. I don't feel like doing that. Like, That's already a boundary, and that's also showing your character. And these type of like light boundaries can be set in the beginning, and it sets the tone of the relationship. It sets like the standard of it. So this is completely fine. However, if like really strong boundaries come in the beginning, usually the person disappears. Majority of guys will ghost you for a strong boundary in the beginning. Usually they reappear after, because basically you didn't let him get his way. But it's also like a red flag, that you need to set in a strong boundary in the beginning, because somebody is being disrespectful. That's a big red flag. So it's better not to even continue like dating this guy. For example, a guy canceling the date in the beginning, that's unacceptable. Like it's kind of shows lack of interest. If you're not interested enough and you're canceling the date, then what's the point? So you're like basically thank you next. Unless he's like it's really an accident and he's really sorry, and but to be honest, it's very rare when that happens. It's like 1 in 100 that actually it's it's happening because like something really extraordinary happened. Majority of the time, if people cancel the first date with not the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, date with you, it's usually because we're losing interest. And if somebody's losing interest, then what's the point to entertain them? It's like, okay, I want somebody that's interested in me, so it's not gonna work. So but boundaries later on in a relationship, let's say you're in a relationship maybe 3 months in or something like that, and you start to see that the person is getting a bit, taking you a bit too for granted, or just like we start to test stronger boundaries, then you can set in stronger boundaries later on in a relationship, because the connection is already built. You know each other quite well now, so you can set in a bit stronger boundaries as well. However, those boundaries also need to be done wisely. You also need to think things through. You can't just blab it out and expect it to work. Number 9 would be, this is where I see a lot of women do the mistake of this. If a guy steps back, don't chase him, because majority of the time it's a game. So let's say a lot of guys, when we want a woman to chase him, they will step back to see, will you chase him? And if you chase him every single time and he steps back, then you kind of teaching him this pattern that whenever you step back, I'm going to be chasing you. So he'll always be stepping back. Instead of like he steps back, maybe like give him that space. Maybe he actually steps back because he wants to spend more time with his friends. Maybe he wants to, he has a boys' night out, or he's doing something, he's really busy, he's focused on something else, and you just step back. Just allow him to step back. When a guy, like, men fall in love with a woman's absence, women fall in love with a man's presence. So women, because we quite needy, I think, as women, we need safety and security so much, so we are naturally quite vulnerable and needy. So women, like when a guy is constantly giving you attention, when he's there for you, when he's talking to you every day, when he's calling, when he's showing up and all of that, women start to feel very comfortable and we fall in love with the guy's presence. For men, usually because of testosterone, the goals, the chase, all that jazz, they usually like, we enjoy the chase, they enjoy the pursuit. And when it gets like, when we start to talk to a girl like every single day, like we kind of nearly start to take her for granted. So when a guy has a period of a bit of space, he actually starts to miss you and starts to think about you and realize his feelings for you. So space, for guys to have some space from time to time, is actually healthy. You know, so if he's taking some space from you, don't start chasing him. Give him that space. Will it go through? Yes, it did. Good. Sorry, it's my Amazon parcel. Leave it outside the door, please. Okay. Yeah. Oh, I knew it. Oh no, he left. Okay, that's fine. So give him that time and space to miss you, to realize his feelings for you, and if he really likes you, he will come back. Right. Yeah, that's it. My last point was let him miss you, but I kind of did 9 and 10 at the same time. So let's see how we are doing. I'll look at your comments now. Guys, if you need some coaching, you can book me over my website. The link is in my video description. Let me see. When was the last? Okay, this looks like he better visit psychiatrist. He has answers to all your okay. So don't ask about his baby mama or if he has a kid. What about the past relationship and he is a single? I mean, he one who came up to me. Let him share these things freely when he's ready to share these things. You know, like when you're going on a date with a guy, see like the first few dates, you're just seeing, do you even like him? You know, it's like you're just kind of like, maybe don't put that much pressure. Guys and girls, you put so much pressure when you're going on the first few dates. Just don't have this pressure, you know, and let him share everything what he wants to share freely. And date the guy without overly investing into him, because you don't know who he is yet, especially if he has like passed something like a baby mama or whatever else, right? So it's like things that you would have to be like wary of, right? And through time, through dating him, you will find out who he is as a person by observing the red flags, the green flags, and all of that. You will find out who he is as a person. Is he a man of his word? Is he reliable? Does he care about you? Does he show up? You know, all of these things. And then you will be able to make a decision about him. Asking questions about exes, asking questions about baby mama, asking questions about anything, about the past, about relationships. You know, it's if a person is really nice and honest, you know, okay, we might tell you the truth, but even then, he might tell you the truth from his perspective. You know, you don't know the girl's perspective. But most of the people, we won't tell you the truth. Most of the people, we will tell you what benefits them. You know, so we will, if it benefits him to say that he was dumped all the time because he wants to come across as a victim or whatever, you know, like it will benefit, you know, he'll say that. If he thinks it's really cool for him to say that he dumped all the girls and da da da, and he's like, I never found the one, you know, then he'll say that. So it's like, it's more like, you're gonna get to know a person by spending time with them and observing their actions, observing their behavior, observing what they're saying, and observing how they behave with you, rather than asking them questions about the past. You know, it's rare nowadays for people to be that honest. And to be honest, like some countries are a bit more honest. Other people are like, other countries are not that honest. Like I would say in London, it doesn't even make sense to ask this question. Majority of the time, it's just, you just get a lot of BS. However, perhaps if you're asking this question, a guy from a country that's, you know, a town that's a bit of countryside and everybody's more genuine and honest, then it would make sense maybe to ask this question and they would be a bit more honest. Thank you, Tareem. Hi, Naha. How are you? I love a guy and he hasn't fallen yet, it seems. Okay, good. I'm happy you love him, but how to get a guy to fall in love, I have a YouTube video for that. Go look on my YouTube channel, and maybe there are some things that you're just missing or you're doing wrong, you know, and this is why he hasn't fallen for you yet. I met him today and he got my number. Is 30 minutes twice a week, or when should he schedule set up a date with in 9 days? Twice a week is good. It's nice. Twice a week is lovely. That's fine as long as it's a bit in advance and as long as he's organizing something. That's really cool. How to find good friends? Put yourself out there. Just put yourself out there and scan people. Guys, you need to learn the manipulations. You need to learn to observe the red flags. If you see red flags in people, stop spending time with them. You know, like go for people that are actually good. Good people are maybe a little bit more boring, a lot of times we say, or be a bit nicer, but it's the ones that you can trust. To be honest, not also necessarily. Let's see, a lot of good people are very jokey, they're really fun, we have a fantastic sense of humor, you know, but the humor is not vulgar. So basically, all I'm saying, to find good friends, put yourself out there, go to the places that are a bit better. Like, don't look for good friends in a club, look for good friends in a church, you know, and see how that goes. If a guy not texting you even after 2 days, give him time. If he's interested in you, if he likes you, he'll get in touch. Allow him. You want a guy to lead you, him texting you first, it's leading you. You know, so if his lead is every 2 days, it is what it is. You know, wait, I would wait. 2 days, wait. 3 days, wait. He didn't text you for 5 days, okay, well, maybe he's not the one. I have been betrayed before. Hun, we all been betrayed. I don't know a person who has not been betrayed. Like, girls don't see me as friend, but competition. They don't really want to be my friends, just want to know what I'm doing in my life. Friendship. Oh, I see. So maybe you're in the circle like, for example, I could your question to me, for me, it basically says LA. You know, like, let's say in LA, the girls are usually like, what are you doing? What are you doing? You know, it's like, what are your goals? What are your dreams? You know, it's all about goals and goals and goals and goals. So people want to learn from you. We want to get value from you, you know. Okay. So let's say people it's still the same thing. People want to get value from you, we want to learn from you and stuff like that. So it becomes like, it's not when a friendship is more like a business relationship, which is good as well. You're growing, you know, so it's like a business relationship. But if you want more friendship type of relationship, it can come from business relationships as well, you know, like you can develop a lot of good friendships from business relationships too. For me personally, the way I build friendships from business relationships by giving, you know, so when you give a lot, people start to like you, people start to trust you, you know, so I give a lot. I just give a lot, but I try not to expect things in return. Because if you expect things in return, that's when you feel taken advantage of. But when you're giving that, let's say, for the sake of helping the person because you want them to succeed, you're just like, you know, you're like, okay, I really want you, oh, this sounds amazing, you know, I want you to succeed, and you help the person from this angle without thinking for ulterior motive, people start to like you. Some people will take advantage of you, but a lot of people will like you. And then after a while, we will start to give back, you know, or we will, you know, it's going to become a bit of that give and take relationship. And that's usually the business kind of relationships. That's how we are formed. And when we turn into friendships, I wouldn't say we are the best friendships, maybe not like the most. Sometimes we even turn into the best friendships, you know. But the friendships that I personally notice where people are more like there, are more open to be for a lifetime, more like church relationships. You know why? Because people are more forgiving. You know, even let's say in my church, there's, let's say, a girl, a couple girls that I had been like, you know, like it's been getting on my nerves, and I know she's been getting on my nerves too. And, you know, and it's kind of, it's been like a bit like a lesson for me as well, because we know each other now for 4 years, and it's like we just learn to let go and to forgive. You know, you forgive, you let go, you forgive, you let go, you forgive, you let go. So it's kind of, it's like an interesting, it's the lesson for me, because as well, like for me it's like, okay, you know, you mess me up, okay, bye, that was like in my past, you know, okay, bye, you know, never to be seen again. But this type of thing was like, huh, this is interesting, you know. So maybe church relationships will last a bit longer. Takes time, you know. But I mean, we kind of need to, in a way, nearly expect for people to let you down, because everyone's a sinner at the end of the day. Nobody's perfect. So not to have huge expectations. What is your age, miss? Just curious. I'm 42, nearly 42. 7th of March, I'm 42, and now I'm 41. So what is it? Couple in a month time? Right. Any other questions? Can't get over her beauty. It's so sweet. Thank you. Oh, I love these crazy comments, compliments, like you're the most beautiful girl in the world, or like it's like, you know, you're not, but it's sweet. Why are such cert okay, right. If a guy not texting you, okay, this we did. Okay, Lava, I kind of had enough of you, so I'm gonna hide you. Bye bye. Okay. Right. I'm looking for questions. Let's see. Lava is good. Well, lava, I already removed lava, so sorry about that. No more lava. You look like you own 1,000 cats. Just one. How to stay off the phone so he can set up a date. Okay, so this is actually a really good question. A lot of women, when we talk to guys, right, sometimes a guy more is like, he's more a texter type. And a lot of women actually go like, oh, Greta, but I want him to call me, or I want him to text me less, or I want him to leave me voice messages, but he's always like texting. How do I get him to call me? The thing is, ladies, you have to accept a guy for who he is. Some guys are a bit more of texters, some guys are a bit more of callers. Other guys can't stand texting, we just want to meet, you know, and talk to you there. So you have to, don't tell a guy to call you if he's not a caller. Or don't tell a guy to text you a lot if he's not a texter. You have to, if you with this guy, you have to accept him for who he is. You know, like, you cannot make a guy into something that you like. You know, you're not God, you're not the creator, you're not there creating a guy into something that you like. You know, it's more like you meet a guy that you like, you meet a guy that you're like, okay, I can work with that, or I'm really into him. And when you accept him for who he is, you have to accept a person for who he is. Saying that, you don't need to allow like bad behaviors and stuff like that. You can keep your standards, you can have your boundaries, you can voice your likes and dislikes, but you have to accept the person for who they are. And you have to like fall in love with that. You know, love those things. Otherwise, that's what love is actually. we fall in love, and you fall in love with the person's, things. Not because you change him to be how you like it, but no, you fall in love with who the person actually is. What do you do for a living and education? I'm a full-time relationship coach for men and women since 2017. This is why I'm doing this live. um Greta, men don't have good financial resources or assets and get intimidated if you make more than them. Why don't men want to build something together just because we don't have as much as you? If a guy is intimidated, the thing is, when a woman is successful, um, so it all comes down to like natural, how shall I say it, genetics, just our natural forms, right? Technically, we were designed that the man is the provider, right? So he looks after a woman and the family and all of that, right? So you're following him. So financially, a woman has less because he's the provider, he's the protector, right? So you kind of look up to him because he's wiser, he's smarter, he's faster, he's the head of the house. So in a way, like, you look up to him as a man. You in a way like admire him, you respect him for his wisdom, right? That's like a healthy relationship. That's how we were designed to be. Now, when a woman earns more than a man, first of all, the man automatically starts to feel a bit demasculated, and it's really hard for a woman to, because you feel when you earn more, you feel proud, you feel confident, you feel wise, you feel smart, because you achieved a lot. Let's say maybe you have a lot of discipline, a lot of self-control, a lot of many things, right? So you achieved a lot. And if a guy has less than you do, it's nearly impossible then to allow this guy to lead you, because it doesn't make sense. You as a woman, you kind of become the leader because you're the one with skills, you're the one who achieved the stuff. So then a man becomes a bit like a follower, and when it becomes a woman is masculine and a man is more feminine, so the role switch. And when the role switch, usually it's really hard to make things work, because when we are not in our natural roles, because a woman is still sensitive, she's still more emotional, she's still a woman. And a man, even though he's following you, his natural role is still a leader, is still the provider, is still the pursuer, is still the protector. So this is when a lot of kind of arguments and fights happen, because the roles are changed and we are not the natural roles. So for example, if you're earning more than a man, and a man is like, a lot of smart guys will probably move away, because or they will overtake you. I met some guys that overtake. I definitely met some guys that overtake. So let's say, like when a lot of men get competitive. So when we, not a lot, but some guys, when we see a woman is doing really well and we want this girl, they get competitive with her. So we come up to her level and then we overtake her. And when we do that, then you can follow. And he leads and you follow. So I seen these type of things. And it's beautiful. It's extraordinary beautiful. But if you are leading as a woman and he sees that you're like leading and he's okay with that, usually it's because he wants to take advantage of you. He's a gold digger. He wants to chill. He wants to be on his couch, or you can provide and you can do all of this and stuff like that. And it's like when a woman is not in her natural role as well. So things just don't work out. Other times guys get insecure and we just step back. He wants somebody that earns less than him, so he can lead and he's more in his natural role. Anyway, what I'm saying, if a woman is high earner, if she made her own business and stuff like that, usually the choices of men for a woman are less, because you want somebody that's leading, you want somebody that's taking the control, you want somebody that you look up to, you want somebody that's wiser, so the choices drop. So women that are actually earning less, we have like good education, good jobs, and earning less. I think these women have the biggest choices of guys that are that are compatible to them. However, saying this, I wouldn't say like, oh, now as a woman you have to earn less. Like, no, like, you still have to have faith, have faith, and the right guy will come along. If you are a high earning female and you have your goals and dreams and you want to do something with your life, like, keep it, do things with your life, and keep faith that a man that maybe matches you or is a bit better than you at some point will come along into your life. And at the end of the day, the best relationships is like when like attracts like. Like a lot of times guys now look more like for somebody we can connect with, have an intelligent conversation with. We look a bit for like a best friend type of situation. So a lot of high earning men will look for females that are wise as well, because we want to talk to them. We want to see like she can follow his ideas and he can follow her ideas, like we connecting on that level. So yes, it is, let's say for high earning females, is less choice of men. However, at the end of the day, if you want to get married, you only need one guy, and all you need is a bit of faith, and in everything in life you need faith and hope. Without faith and hope you won't get anywhere, and have faith and hope, and when the time is right, God will make it happen. Okay, right, so let's see the comments. Will you do will you be my make-believe mom? Sorry. Okay. Never met a woman who's earning more than me. Okay, good for you. That's a very outdated way of thinking. Sure, Elsa. Hello, what's up? Like, why can't men and women co-lead? We can co-lead. It's just not like, okay, women are more emotional, so it's hormonal differences. Like men have more testosterone, so we can go for their goals, dreams, ambitions for longer, and we have more energy. We are better in high stress environments. A lot of men are huge risk takers. We take massive risk, right? And when you put a woman in that situation, let's say in the same job as a man is, usually women don't take such high risks. Usually women under a lot of stress, we get overwhelmed, we get emotional, we get drained. It's very different, you know. It's very, very different. I have a lot of friends who are very, very successful women. And to be honest, we were successful women for about 5 years. Really like successful women being bosses of guys and like, top lawyers and stuff like that. Now these girls are drained. Now these girls under high medication. We cannot work. Breakdowns, emotional breakdowns. Women don't have such capacity of guys as guys do. Women are better with children. Women are more nurturing. Women can be, it's like you complement each other. A man has the skills a woman doesn't have. A woman has the skills a man doesn't have. Yes, you can, let's say, make some things better. For example, let's say you're a nurturing female and you can still become the boss of a company or something like that, if you want to, because you can practice those skills and da 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 and learn it. However, it's the fact that you're gonna get a burnout much quicker for doing the stuff than a man can, it's very high. Yes, why don't you check out Jordan Peterson? He's my favorite. Just check out Jordan Peterson, and it's all science based. Um, I shifted to another country after marriage. Okay. Thank you, Anne. I shifted to another country after marriage a month ago, and my husband is taking me for granted. How to make him cherish me again, how to raise my standards after I have made so many mistakes. It's not a mistake to go to another country with your husband. It's not a mistake, but you need to create a bit of life in that new country. So start to interact with people, create some hobbies, get busy, like get a bit of independence. You need a bit of independence. When you're completely reliant on a guy, that's when we usually start to take you for granted. So getting a bit of independence would be the first step. What's according to you breaks relationship more as per you? Um, Not having boundaries. A lot of things breaks the relationship. Like a lot of things, it's more like where people lose interest. So when people start to lose interest, then eventually the relationship breaks. So you have to think of, as a man, you have to think of what keeps her interested in me, right? And if she's interested in you, then if you know how to keep her interested, then the relationship is not gonna break. And as a woman, you need to think of how to keep him interested in me long term. That way the relationship doesn't break. Because if the relationship is breaking, usually it's too late, but usually it happens because the person over time was losing interest. And they were losing interest because of something you were doing or not doing. And it can be many things. For women, men usually lose interest if women are behaving very masculine, if they're leading, if they're controlling, if they're acting insecure, if they losing emotional control all the time, if they are too needy, if they're nagging all the time. Like this is kind of usually if you put the whole life on a guy, if you lose yourself for a guy, he starts to take you for granted. When a woman is, when she's completely under the guy's thumb, he starts to take her for granted. That's usually where men lose interest. With women, we usually lose interest if a guy doesn't respect himself, if you can walk all over him, if he doesn't have the boundaries, if he's not acting masculine, because a masculine man can control a woman because you guys have more power, you have strength, men have more power, so it's actually, if you're just staying in your masculine for a woman, it's going to be quite hard to lose interest in you, but not in a way that you're like bloody, like you're overpowering, in a balanced way. Because if you're overpowering her completely, she'll just be like, you're taking me for granted, you're I don't have any space to breathe, I'm like tiptoeing around you. So, and if you are too light in a way that you're allowing a woman to take the full control, she'll just start to disrespect you. So you have to have it like in a balanced way that she can see your masculinity, and then usually, it's fine. So at the end of the day, you need to think of how to keep a woman interested in you when the breakup will not happen, and a man needs to keep thinking how to keep a girl interested in him as well. Balance, it's all about balance. First time listener, wow, you caught my attention, not easy to do. It makes so much sense, really glad you popped up. Oh, I'm so happy to hear that. Okay, guys, so thank you so much for watching. If you want some coaching, you can book me over my website. In my video description, where I have links for men and women. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this live. Let me know in the comments below after this live, have you enjoyed it, and share it with anyone who needs it. And have an amazing day. Bye, guys. Bye, 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 bye.